Well, hello and welcome to the Profit with Law podcast. I'm your host, Moshe Amsal, and today you're just going to get me. And I felt compelled to get behind the microphone and record this for you um, because of multiple things. Number one, I wanted to pay tribute to a friend of mine who just passed away. But it also got me thinking about something that is really near and dear to my heart and is something that we're working on behind the scenes here. And I think that this is something that could really change the industry, really change the community, and I want to kind of give you the backstory or the background behind why I think it's important. And if it's something that you're interested in, then you'll take the next steps and join us on this journey. So this past week, I attended a funeral for a friend of mine. Now, to put this in perspective, I am not an old guy. I'm a young guy. I'm 46 years old. This was a 46-year-old man. He has kids that are still at home, and he battled with cancer for a couple of years. His name is Chaim U. Jacobson. He was an attorney and a CPA. He was the chief of the local fire department. And he mentored a ton of people, but he was one of these guys who just, when you met him, you felt so at home. You felt so at ease, that it just drew you in. I mean, going all the way back. So this is somebody who I went to school with. This is somebody who, I, for those of you who don't know, I'm also a paramedic. So, our paths crossed many times, but the volunteer ambulance agency that I worked for, that I volunteered for, Spring Hill Community Ambulance Corps, in Spring Valley, New York. One of the members there married him, so we had connections there. There's I'm friends with that whole family, so I'm friends with his brother-in-laws, and I'll talk about his funeral in a moment, because that's really what compelled me to even get behind the microphone and have this conversation. And I let's just say that when I was in ninth grade, there was something that I didn't understand. I was a 14-year-old boy, and I didn't understand where babies came from. And my parents, devout Orthodox Jews, had led me through a sheltered life, no TV, well, semi-sheltered, right? So I had exposure to the outside world. I knew that there was, that there was something. I just didn't understand it. And Chaim was one of those guys that just, like, you felt so at ease. You can ask anything. And I asked him, and so, like, my, like, sex education came from him. It should never come from a classmate. But he was just one of those guys that, like, he didn't bat an eyelash. I felt comfortable asking him because I knew he wasn't going to make fun of me. And I knew that if he knew the answer, he was going to answer me, and I was going to get a straight answer from him. And there was just that warmth about him that drew people to him. He also was an incredible leader of the Muncie Fire Department, and he vetted other leaders. It was never about him. It was never about him hitting the pinnacle or the top. It was all about him being in a position where he can influence other people to emulate and do that and become him. Just an incredible human being, and a huge loss for our community. But one thing that happened at the funeral, and then I came to find out that this was something that had been going on for 2 years, but um, the entire, not just Muncie Fire Department, but like all of the fire personnel, even in neighboring departments, showed up for this funeral. And I have been to many funerals of other paramedics, of other firefighters, and never had seen a turnout like this. Um, the community had come together in a way that was just unbelievable. Um, we can link in the show notes to some local articles so you can get an idea of what this looked like. But just an amazing show of support for the family, and honor for the deceased, to honor the life that he lived. But I also came to find out that throughout the 2 years that he was battling cancer, whenever he was down and ill and unable to function, the fire department was always there. Like, members of the fire department were always at their house visiting. We're always, bringing food, just making sure that the things that they needed to be able to get through it, that it was covered, that was taken care of. And it got me thinking to the power of being a part of a community, to the power of community. Now, in decades ago, when the previous generation grew up, religion was something that was very important to most. And in today's day and age, religion has fallen by the wayside. And I don't want to get into a religious conversation. I don't want to get into a conversation about the power of religion, or whether religion is right or wrong, any of that. But there was a sense of belonging in a community that people found in a religious community. And people went to church or temple or synagogue or whatever domain or faith, or to a mosque, whatever domain or faith that you had, and you went to functions of the temple, the synagogue, the church, the mosque, and you got to know the people there, and that became your community. Those were the people who were showing up to your happy times. Those were the people who were showing up when somebody passed, when there was something sad, or when somebody was ill, right? And community comes in many different forms. When people go through college, there's sororities and fraternities. That's another community. People need connection. They need to be a part of something, and they need to be a part of something that they feel a place in, right? Like, they feel like they belong. When you don't feel like you belong is when you cannot get out of the community what you need. When I went through my divorce in 2006, it was a very lonely process, because there wasn't anybody in my community, in my synagogue, or in the crowd that I was a part of. The friends that I had were all, former high school classmates, and none of them had a friend go through a divorce, and they didn't know how to approach it, how to deal with me. So instead, they avoided me, and I felt like I didn't belong. And that feeling of that I didn't belong forced me to go find a new community, forced me to look somewhere else, to become a part of something else. And that sense of belonging, that sense of being a part of something that's bigger than you, is a need. It's an innate human need that we have. And when you decide to build your own business, if you don't have a community to be a part of, it's an even more lonely journey. Now, you're losing when you start to build your own business. What ends up happening is that you lose the community that you were a part of, because you were a part of a law firm, most likely, or you were in law school. You had a community there. The moment that you start your own business, even if that community still exists, you suddenly feel like you don't belong. People there don't get you. They get you as a lawyer, but they don't get you as a law firm owner. The same thing is true for the fellow law students, right? Like if that was your community, because they all are going on to work at big law, when they sit around at a bar and they have drinks, they're talking about their experiences with their clients and with their coworkers, and you may not feel like you could be a part of that conversation. So one of the detractors or one of the detriments to your journey as a business owner is losing that community. And there's a power of that community that fulfills a basic human need, but there's also a power of that community that fulfills many other things. There are members of that community who have been where you have been before, and they can support you in a crisis. They can answer your questions. They can help you to see how you can get through that. They can give you ideas of what's working for them that you might be able to use for you. You can give back to the community based on your own experiences. That give and take in a community is priceless. And it's not just in advice. It could be in client sharing. It could be in referrals. There's so much opportunity if you connect with other attorneys. Say you connect with a personal injury attorney and you don't do personal injury, and you know somebody who got into a car accident, they got, God forbid, they got injured, and you can connect them with your friend in this community who's a personal injury attorney, and not only help them to get through what they're going through and be able to deal with it because they'll have the financial backing to do so through that connection that you created, but you also foster that relationship, and there's a financial benefit for both of you. So that's just one example. There's many, but connecting with other firm owners is something that it's not the secret to success. It's not the thing that's going to get you to the next level. It's not the thing, it's not what we do in our core program. In our core program, we help you on the business side. We help you to understand the business, to understand how to show up as a business owner, as an investor in your business, and how to get out of your own way. The piece that's missing is something that we can't give you. We can't give you because we aren't the community. It's other people like you that are the community. So what we decided here at Profit with Law is we're going to give that to you, in that we are going to create a community. We're going to give you the space to connect, and we're going to support you in that connection, and we're going to foster that, and we're going to encourage it. So what we did is we created a community. The community exists on Slack. Slack is a communication platform where you can send messages to people and into a group. The reason we did it on Slack and not in, say, a Facebook group is many reasons. Well, first, I don't want your participation in the community to mean that you get distracted by other things in a Facebook feed, right? There's a big detriment to doing anything on social, because we all know what happens. We get sucked in, and 2 hours later we emerge and we've seen a bunch of AI videos and a bunch of funny videos, and we've watched a comedian or two, and we've liked a few things happening in our friends' lives, and we've got nothing to show for it, and we're not getting that time back. So I don't want to be responsible for that. I don't want to build anything that's on social, because it's a trap, and I don't want this. I don't want you to have to decide between the trap and the thing we're building. The other reason that we chose to build it in something like Slack is that part of creating the community is we want to help you find the people that you want to connect with the most. So we believe, and maybe we're wrong, but we believe that you would want to connect with people in your geographic area, and you would want to connect with people in your practice area. So what we did is we created channels in the community for the various practice areas, for well, right now, the biggest geographic areas, and we'll continue to grow that as we get members in the community and the need for specific segments are there. And we'll support you with that. We'll create those channels and create a place for you to foster that relationship. That being said, giving you those slices is something we just can't do on these other platforms, right? So that was another reason for going in there. Our vision for the community is pretty big and broad. And, I think that there's going to be a ton of power in bringing in professionals in every domain of running your business to be able to support you and answer your questions, right? So imagine being able to come in and you're having a problem that morning with, let's just say it's a problem with your Google LSAs. You're running advertising on Google, you're paying for LSAs, and for some reason they're not serving today or something like that, right? Or you got a notice from Google that your account was shut down and you're in crisis mode, like, oh my gosh, we're not going to get any leads, our Google shut down our account. And then you come into the community and we have marketing experts that own firms that are serving law firms, and they're in there as experts, and you ask your question and they're able to jump in and say, hey, first of all, they could jump in and say, hey, I can tell you step by step what to do, or we can get on the phone and I can connect you with somebody on my team and we can do it for you, right? Now, I'm not promising any sort of free services or anything by any of these professionals in the community. And honestly, I haven't even started having those conversations with those people to see if they want to be in there. But that's the vision. The vision is that it's not just going to be a place for you to connect. It's going to be a place for you to come and find solutions. It's going to be like, I want you to have a place that you can come in and you can solve everything that you don't have in your firm for you to solve, right? So answers to questions, know-how of how to do things, asking other people how they've done things, and then connection with other people, being able to share your wins and losses, being able to, like, who cares if you had a baby? Well, guess what? All the people who got to know you in the community, they care. They want to know, right? Who do you want to show up for you if somebody is sick in your family, right? Like you want to be a part of something. Now, maybe you're already a part of something and this is not for you, right? Like maybe this is just not something that you need, but for many of you, this is something that would be really, really helpful for you. Understand that we're just kicking this off. Until we get critical mass, until we get probably 20 to 50 people in the group conversing, it's going to feel like you've entered an empty room. So I just want to give you that caveat. Like when you come in, understand that we're just getting this started, but we would love to have you join and understand that you are a founding member, that you're somebody who's coming in on the ground floor, coming into the community, and you get to be there first. And you get to have all the know-how of how this came about. And who knows where we're going to be able to take it, but we're going to listen. We're going to constantly be asking you. And whatever it is that the community at large wants, we're going to try our best to make that happen. We are creating this for you because I believe it's a gap in the marketplace. I believe it's going to fulfill a need. And if it doesn't, well, we'll stop doing it. We'll disband it, right? Like if it's just not necessary, then we'll get rid of it. But I do think it's something that a lot of you are craving and don't realize you're craving. And I think it's something that will fulfill a need that that's just not met in the marketplace right now. Yes, eventually there will be a fee to be a part of the community for the cost of us running it. But for our first 50 members that come, we're not charging. We want you to come in absolutely free. We want you to not have to think about it as an investment and instead just show up. Show up for you and show up for others. Be there to support others and be there to get supported in every facet and domain that you can think of. And I'm excited for when we have 10 people in Chicago that are in the community and we could do a meetup, and we're doing a meetup of 10 people. I think that would be insanely awesome. But we can't do that today with just an email list. But with an engaged community, we can. And I think that there's a huge opportunity for every single one of you. So profitwithlaw.com/community is how you can come in and join us. profitwithlaw.com/community. And if you listen to this episode and it's a year after we released it, and when you go to that URL, there is a fee to come in, and you want to come in for free because you listened to this episode, even if you're not one of the first 50 people, send an email to our team, info@dreambuilderfinancial.com. We'll put this in the show notes, info@dreambuilderfinancial.com. Send us an email, and we will we'll grant it. We'll honor it, because this is not, the purpose of this community is not to make money. Ultimately, the fee that we're going to charge is simply because it's to help us liquidate the cost of running it. But for right now, we want you in it. We want you to be a part of it. We want you to feel it. We want you to appreciate it and enjoy it. And I recorded this episode because I don't think people understand what it is that we're creating. And I think having shared this with you, you now understand. So I'm looking forward to seeing you in there. I hope that you enjoyed this this extra episode, me sharing my own personal experience with community and trying to also honor my friend in the process. Really great, amazing person. His life was cut short by cancer, which is really, really unfortunate. But at the same time, he did a lot with his life, and we should all learn from that and learn to take advantage of every single day in front of us. You don't know how long you've got. You don't know how long or short your life's going to be, but we can always do our best to show up in the best way every single day. So hope you join me for the ride in the community. Regardless, I'm happy to have you here listening. Hope you're a subscriber to the podcast or the YouTube channel, and I'm looking forward to seeing you on the next episode. Take care. Bye for now.